Hello, my name is Ryan S., and today I am at the Park Ridge History Center on 721 North Prospect Avenue. Let's take a look inside. I'm here with President of the Park Ridge Historical Society, Brian Lazaro.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we're going to go inside shortly, and we're going to talk a little bit about the history of Park Ridge and show you some cool artifacts.
And here we're going inside the Solomon Cottage, formerly known as the Park Ridge School for Girls, which was originally built in 1908. Can you tell me about the evolution of the Solomon Cottage?
Yeah, so our museum building itself is historic in Park Ridge. So the museum was first built in 1908, which is a long time ago. I think the Cubs won the World Series back then that year. And here's an early picture of what the outside of our museum looked like. And you could see Prospect was still a dirt road at that time. You could see how rough it would have been to ride down that road. And so maybe about 10 years ago, it converted from the school for girls into a park, and now our museum is in this building. So for nearly 100 years, it was a school for girls. So where you're literally standing is where the kids lived, and so maybe if they had lost a parent or two, and then they would come to live on this campus, the school for girls, this room is where the kids' beds were, which is now our exhibit room. And then where we were just standing over here was where the house mother lived. And so she would take care of the kids. And then the far room was where everyone ate. It was like the living room area. And then of course the kitchen, this is still the kitchen. So yeah, so it's kind of neat that our museum is a historic building in itself.
So what events are coming up soon?
Yeah, we got some cool events coming up. Mr. Krause is going to be speaking about his Strange Happenings talk. It's going to be October 17th from 7 to 8 at the Paula O'Connor Center, which is the blue building on the Prospect Park campus. And that Strange Happenings is about some murder mysteries and some scam artists that lived in Park Ridge. So it's going to be fun to listen to that one. And then on December 12th at the same place, the Paula O'Connor Center, in the evening, 6:30 to 7:30, I'm going to be talking about the Rouse Simmons sinking, and that it was called the Christmas Tree Ship. And every year, the Christmas Tree Ship delivered Christmas trees to Chicago, coming from Wisconsin. And sadly, one year it sunk in Lake Michigan, so we'll be talking about that. And also, in the first weekend in December, we park our old fire truck in front of City Hall, and we invite kids out to take pictures with Santa. And then the rain date for that is the following weekend. So it's typically always the first weekend in December. And while we're here, I wanted to show you this cool old photograph. This is a really old one. This is Uptown Park Ridge when the streets were still dirt. And you can see the Pickwick wasn't even built yet. That's how old this photograph was. But this building is still here. You guys know this as Holt's Restaurant. But back then it was a dry goods store where you could buy things for your horse and buggy and other various tools and things.
How can you tell the community that this is the best place to go?
Yeah, this is a great place to come visit us. We're open every other Saturday from 1 to 3. And so people can come in and see our special exhibits, and also like the Park Ridge archives that we have. We have photographs of pretty much everything in town, old and new. And one of the projects that we're working on right now, I'll show you, is a few years ago, we were able to bring home the 1934 Park Ridge fire truck. And so we're still working on restoring it. It's taking us several years because the parts are really old, so you have to be like a specialty mechanic to fix the parts and get it running again. So what we just did is we just finished the brakes on the front, and now this weekend actually we're working on changing the brakes in the back. So the goal would be to get it running again so it's back in the Park Ridge Memorial Day parades. So yeah, so we have all kinds of events and things going on at the museum that we're always happy for people to come in and visit us.
So what are some projects you've been working on right now?
Yeah, so besides the fire truck restoration project, another big project that we have going on right now is the closing down of Park Ridge's last farm. So we were very thankful that Maine Township High School District allowed us to come onto the property to save some historic items. So we photographed the property, and then we went into the old barn, and this is super exciting. So just 2 weeks ago, underneath a pile of glass, we found Dr. Fricke's original nameplate from when he had a practice in town. And he's often referred to as Park Ridge's first doctor. So for us to be able to find a piece of his practice from that long ago, it's most likely 1800s with his name in etched glass, was super exciting for us. And we were able to get some other items from the farm as well. We were able to save 2 tractors that dated between 1918 and 1928, and some other, like a grinding stone for sharpening an axe on the farm, and some horse-related items. One of the horse-related items that was super neat was it was I think it was called a seed planter. So it's from the 1800s. You'd load the little bed with seeds, and then the horses would pull it down the rows and plant the seeds in the spring. So we were able to save that, so someday we can restore that. So even though it's sad that we're losing our last farm, we were able to collect some neat historic artifacts. And that's our job at the museum, is to do that.
Thank you. So what we have here is a map of the original Park Ridge.
Yeah, this is a 1928 aerial shot, so it would have been taken from an airplane flying over Park Ridge. And the reason why this is a really amazing photograph, we just got it a few years ago, is because it shows our town as a whole right here, and I'll point out some historic locations. So for example, one of our very first schools was right there. It's Grant Place School. And it is right by the Methodist church, so that school was in the parking lot now of the Methodist church. And the neat thing is, this school was from the 1800s, and it was built with Bricken bricks. And so Park Ridge used to be called Brickton. And so after that first school, then they called it Central School because it's central to town, right? And Central School is where primary age students went to school, and it was also the junior high. And so unfortunately, sadly, it burned down on Halloween night, 1930. So we lost that main school. And then what happened is the students then went back to Grant Place School for a few years. So we know of one fella in town who was a student there. He went to kindergarten there, if you can believe that, so many years ago. And then some other neat highlights in this map is that if you look closely, the Pickwick is being built in this photograph. So that's how we know it's 1928. And some of the younger students might know that this is Kong Dog. Kong Dog the building is being built right there too. They haven't installed the windows yet. And then Holt's Restaurant, back in the old days, was a Walgreens. So most people don't know that we had a Walgreens on Main Street, and there was a Piggly Wiggly and an A&P store. And there used to be part of the railroad track, they call it a spur line, where the train would go up further into town where the bricks were. And that's how they got bricks to Chicago. So yeah, so and one more thing, this is really cool. You can see Harrison Ford's home right there. So that is where Harrison Ford grew up. Some people know him as Indiana Jones, and other people know him as Han Solo.
What are one of your most oldest artifacts in this place?
Yeah, I think one of our oldest artifacts is this Bricken Brick. So a lot of people in town know that Park Ridge used to be called Pennyville, and then it changed to Brickton, and then it became Park Ridge now, right? And so not too far from here at Prospect Park, the original clay pit where all the clay was mined out of the ground was just south of the Park Ridge Country Club on Grand Boulevard. So there was a big hole there many years ago where they dug out all the clay. And then when you is gray clay, and then when you put it in a kiln, it turns this nice orange. So this is a genuine Bricken Brick from Park Ridge from the 1850s. A neat fact about the clay pit is that once they dug that big hole, then all the kids in town liked to go there and swim. So it was kind of like Park Ridge's first swimming pool too.
Very interesting. We have Michelle Krause. Now, please tell me, what can kids my age do to get involved with the society?
Hi, Ryan. Well, kids your age, teenagers, can get involved with Historical Society by, first we have a student membership for just $5 for the year. And you get to come to the Historical Society whenever and get into some of our speaking events that we have that is otherwise a pay for people that are not members. Also, once a year, we just finished up doing the cemetery tour over at Main Cemetery at D and Tui, and our actors are primarily teenagers from Emerson, Lincoln, Maine South, Maine East, and Maine West. So you can definitely come in and help with that. And I think you became part of the cemetery tour this year.
Yeah.
How did we meet?
So we met on Saturday when I went to the Park Ridge Farmers Market, and I saw the tent for the Historical Society. And as we were leaving, we stopped by, and we talked for a little while, and I got interested in the cemetery thing, and pretty soon I ended up doing it. So, yeah.
And we were very glad to have Ryan. He did a great job as Lieutenant Milton Myers in our tour. So thank you for that.